Welcome to another edition of Black Knights Weekly. On this week's show, we'll talk with head coach of the Army swimming and diving team, Mickey Wender. We'll also check up with the Army wrestling team, and we'll feature Ryan Leets and Rob Tadazak from the Army hockey team. But right now, here's what happened last week in Army athletics. The Army volleyball team started the Patriot League tournament in commanding fashion with a 3-0 sweep of Lehigh in the semifinals. Sophomores Megan Wilton and Margot Jarka led all players with 12 kills apiece. Senior Rachel Willis added 10 kills. Sunday's championship match pitted the Black Knights against top-seeded American. The Eagles took the first 2 sets before Army battled back to take set 3. The Black Knights fought hard in the 4th set, but American eventually pulled out the win. Junior Ariana Mankus led Army with 19 kills, with 7 coming in the 4th set. Willis and Jarka were named to the All-Tournament team. Crystal Arena was the place to be over the Thanksgiving holiday. The men's basketball team got things going Tuesday night against Bryant. The Black Knights knocked down a school record 15 three-pointers in their 69-65 win. Sophomore Josh Herbeck hit 7 trays for a career-high 21 points. Julian Simmons chipped in 19 points, while Ella Ellis scored 17. Saturday night, the Yale Bulldogs traveled to West Point for a matchup with the Black Knights. The visitors used a strong second-half run to take the victory. Herbeck paced the Black Knights with 16 points. The men's basketball team wrapped up their 3-game homestand Wednesday night, taking on NJIT. After battling back from a second-half deficit, Herbeck's last-second shot just missed as the Highlanders pulled out the 1-point win. Ellis had a team-high 11 points, while Jordan Springer had 10 points and 8 rebounds. The women's basketball team also called Crystal Arena home last week. First up was Manhattan Wednesday night. In their 58-43 win, the Black Knights scored 28 points off of 24 Jasper turnovers. Jen Hazlett scored 13 points and pulled down 7 rebounds, while Molly Yardley finished with 10 points. On Friday night, the Black Knights hosted Manhattanville. After a slow start, Army took control and cruised to a 71-40 win. The victory was the team's 4th in a row. Junior Liz Benedict drilled 4 three-pointers and finished with a career-high 13 points. Hazlett filled the box score with 14 points, 4 assists, 4 blocks, and 3 steals. The women's basketball team played their 3rd game in 5 days on Sunday at Columbia. Army rallied from a 13-point deficit, but late free throws helped the Lions secure the win. Olivia Schretzman led the Black Knights with a career-high 20 points. Yardley and Anna Simmers also scored in double figures. Wednesday night, Hawaii traveled to Crystal Arena. The Black Knights battled back from a 7-point halftime deficit to pick up the 55-51 win. Hazlett recorded her first career double-double and scored all 19 of her points in the second half. Yardley also helped the comeback effort, netting 12 of her 16 points in the final half. The hockey team was also in action with a weekend series at Robert Morris. The Black Knights would suffer a setback in Friday night's game. Mac Lawler and Mike Hull tallied goals for Army. 24 hours later, the same 2 teams skated to a 3-3 tie. Lawler, Maurice Alvarez, and Danny Colvin each scored for the Black Knights. Freshman Rob Tadazak made 39 saves against the Colonials. The Army wrestling team finished up the weekend at Saturday's Northeast Duels. The Black Knights dropped close matches to Arizona State and Binghamton before dominating Sacred Heart. Freshman Scott Filbert was undefeated in his 3 bouts at 125 pounds. Junior Daniel Young went 2-1 at 149 pounds. After this break, we'll talk with head coach of the Army swimming and diving team, Mickey Wender. We'll be right back.
This is Scott Swanson, Director of Strength Conditioning at the United States Military Academy, with our SurgeX training tip of the week. Today, we're going to show you some of the off-the-field training drills that you can utilize in your daily program. Today, we're going to start off with pogo hops. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 reps of just a quick jump. Ready? Begin. About 3 to 5 inches off the ground. The next drill are lateral line shuffles and hops. You go side to side or forward backward. 3 sets, 10 seconds each. Our next drill is a ball chase drill. We'll have the athlete move side to side laterally as quick as he can. Just like that.
Back inside Crandall Pool, Rick Johnston with the head coach of the Army swimming and diving team, Mickey Wender. Coach, thanks for joining us on this week's Black Knights Weekly.
Oh, thanks, Rick. It's my pleasure.
6th year here at West Point. What have these 6 years meant to you?
I'll tell you, it's been just an amazing honor and privilege to work for the people who serve our country. and to feel like I'm doing something that goes beyond athletics, that goes beyond swimming and diving, that really will impact, I think, our country on a lot of different levels. My time with the cadets has been incredibly rewarding, inspiring, and the fact that we get to live and work here and I get to raise my family in this amazing environment has just been really a dream come true. I've loved every minute of it, and there's not a day that goes by where I don't just think how lucky I am to have this opportunity. It's been great.
What's it like to come in here to Crandall Pool every day and you look up on the walls and some of the legends of the sports of swimming and diving are on these walls? What's it like to come in here to work every day?
I'll tell you, the support from the alumni and the history, just the depth of history and experience from this program is remarkable. And there's not a day that goes by where I'm not reminded or having an opportunity to interact with these guys who have made a difference, not just in swimming and not just at West Point, but for their country. And you know, these guys are involved, they're dedicated, they're giving back in every way, and it's pretty cool.
You spent 8 years out at the University of Washington. What did you take from your time out there with the Huskies and applied it to your time here at West Point?
We had a great 8 years in Seattle, and I really loved every minute of it. I think, you know, life is just a journey, and you learn and grow and develop. And in my coaching career, I'd say I've learned more from athletes than from any master's degree program or different course or something I took. So, you know, I'm learning every day. I'm learning from the athletes. I had a great opportunity to work with some elite world-class people there. We had some success at the NCAA level and at the Pac-10s, and had a chance to be part of some pretty interesting events and things. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly what I learned. I think I learned everything that I could and that I needed to put myself in a position to be here and help the cadets.
In your first year here, you were named Coach of the Year in the Patriot League. The men's team placed second in the Patriot League Championship. The women's team placed fourth. What was it like to come in from Washington and kind of pick up right where you left off with a lot of success here at the Academy?
It was fun. I was lucky. I inherited a great team and some great people who just embraced what we brought to the program. Guys like Zach Dispro and Effrey Ruthenberg and Zach Foster and Drew Michelson, and these guys were different. You know, I've been coaching. This is my 20th year as a college head coach, and I've always thought we've done a good job of building teams. But what they have here with the cadets experience together and the things that they go through, the adversity and the stuff they endure, creates bonds and relationships that are so unique and so special, and to have a chance to come in and be embraced by this community was really a lot of fun. So I loved that first year, and I felt like we established a good foundation and have built off that, and have really had a lot of fun.
A lot of people here in the United States remember the 2008 Olympics with Michael Phelps and all the history that he made. You actually got to experience that firsthand out at the Beijing Olympics as a head coach of the American Samoa swimming and diving team. What was that like? Had to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and an experience.
In my line of work, there's really no greater honor than to coach at the Olympic Games, and to have that experience and that opportunity and to be part of it in the way that I was very, very special. And I'll never forget it, marching in opening ceremonies and the chills that I got getting to experience that and being part of the whole thing was really amazing. Getting to experience what was a remarkable performance, not just by Phelps, but the whole American team, the whole world. You know, everyone was swimming out of their minds, and we were at all the swims or all the sessions and experienced China. You know, we had a lot of fun. It was a great experience.
Was it even more special that you got to coach one of your cadets out at the Olympics?
Oh yeah, Stu was great, and he swam fast for himself and broke a national record, and We roomed together. We had a great time. I really have enjoyed all of the relationships I've had a chance to develop with the cadets, and they're different. They're not the average 18 to 22-year-old. They'll do stupid things like young people will do, but they really see life, I think, a little bit differently, and there's just a depth to their character that I really appreciate.
And lastly, Coach, obviously a big meet next week taking on Navy. What's the preparation like heading into next Thursday when the Mids come to town?
It's been as good as I've seen our team prepare. They're focused. They're very aware of what their role is and what each athlete needs to do. Navy's very good, and they'll help us swim fast. I think that we're as well prepared, and I'm as confident as I've been in my time here about where we're at going into this meet. We've got a very strong team and very committed and focused, great leadership and plebes that have been contributing every week, and it's been fun. I'm excited. I think the team is ready. They love the opportunity, and it's exciting.
Coach, thanks for your time, and good luck with the rest of the year.
Thanks, Rick.
That's head coach Mickey Wender. We'll be right back with more Black Knights Weekly right after this.
Now you can follow West Point and Army Athletics through social media like never before. On Facebook, West Point USMA and Army Black Knights. On Twitter, at West Point News and Army Athletics. And on YouTube, the West Point Channel and Army Athletics. Social media, your way to stay connected to West Point and Army Athletics, anywhere at any time.
This year, the Army wrestling team put everyone on notice after upsetting nationally ranked Iowa State to begin the year. This week, I had the chance to talk to the Black Knights and second-year head coach Joe Heskett. They might be wearing the same singlets and headgear, but there is definitely something different about the Army wrestling team this season. In their second year with head coach Joe Heskett, there's been a change in the level of focus out of the Black Knights. Senior captain James Rafferty says having 1 year together has been beneficial to both Heskett and the wrestlers.
I think that in year 2 it's been a little better now because Coach has his feet wet. Coach understands the boys a little bit better, and I think that's made him more comfortable. It's allowed him to loosen up and really start to amend the program in the way I think he wants to, so it's been a lot better.
Rafferty also says the Black Knights have a higher energy level than they did last year. Junior Daniel Young says that intensity can be seen from seniors down to freshmen.
Last year we weren't really sure what to expect and what Coach Heskett kind of expected of us. This year there's a higher standard that is expected out of us, as well as we come in here and we scrap harder. We're tougher. Come in here, and even the freshmen, we're building a culture to where we're starting them early. Freshmen are coming in and they're scrapping with us. They're getting after it.
That passion starts at the top with Heskett. To say he's enjoying his second year at West Point would be a huge understatement. However, Heskett is quick to point out it's the wrestlers that make his job so much fun.
One of the reasons I took this job was because of these young men, and they're not just any young men. With the burden, the burden that they have on their shoulders, the pressures that they have on their shoulders every single day, with the things they have to juggle. They come into this room and they're focused on doing something great on the wrestling mat, and then when they step out of here, they're focused on something something great to be in life. And that combination is really what sport should be about. It's about that transference of sport to life success. So that's what makes these guys very special and very unique. So for me to be part of that and somehow positively affect their day, their week, their month, their life, wow, I mean, what can you say?
And Heskett has done more than his fair share as well. Rafferty says Heskett has made an impact on him that goes much deeper than the sport of wrestling.
Coach Heskett's a phenomenal leader and a phenomenal coach when it comes to wrestling. My 17, 18 years of wrestling, I've never been fortunate enough to have a man who not only has the experience personally on the wrestling mat, but also encompasses the leader skills that I myself admire and I myself shoot to obtain.
We'll have more from Coach Heskett later in the show. We'll be right back after this short break.
Army hockey and basketball tickets are on sale now. West Point's Hollander Center is the place to be for all the action on the ice and hardwood. Season and individual game tickets are on sale now. Call 877-TIX-ARMY or go online at goarmysports.com. You can also ask about group and youth team opportunities. That's Army hockey and basketball. Call 877-TIX-ARMY or log on to goarmysports.com. Army hockey and basketball. It's more than just a game at West Point.
In the past few weeks, the Army hockey team has used a two-goalie approach. Here's more on netminders Ryan Leets and Rob Tadazak. Over the past 4 games, junior Ryan Leets has started on Fridays while freshman Rob Tadazak is between the pipes on Saturdays. Both goalies are roommates on road trips, which Tadazak uses to his advantage.
Oh, it's definitely great to pick his brain. You know, he's such an intelligent kid, and him being here for a couple years, like I've said before, it's definitely nice to have somebody that's always there for you.
Last season, Leets split time with Jay Clark and started 15 games. Before the start of this season, he took on a leadership role, being the only netminder who had played in a college game before. Yet the Michigan native says he hasn't changed his approach on the ice.
I just try and give the team the best chance to win, like I did in the past, and just make sure that I'm keeping the work ethic up and kind of leading through example rather than through words.
Head coach Brian Riley says this goalie scenario is a first in his coaching career, but the 8th-year mentor says now is the precise time to make this move.
I think right now the strength of our team probably starts in goal. We feel that we have 2 of the best goalies in this league. I think in order to be successful, if you can put a goalie out every night that just has to worry about 60 minutes, and so from a mental standpoint, I think that's a good spot to be in. But I know from a team standpoint, our guys feel really good whether it's Leetsy, whether it's Taz, so we really like the spot that we're in with our goaltending situation.
Riley says he plans to keep rotating Leets and Tadazak for the foreseeable future. Tadazak says he's excited to see where the setup can take the Black Knights.
You know, it's only been a couple games, so it's going to take a couple more weeks, more games just to get into the flow of things and get used to it. But I think once Leets and I start doing that, you'll start to see some of those losses and ties turn into wins.
Both goalies say they push the other in practice every day. Even though Leets has the experience, that doesn't mean the veteran has not learned a few things from his younger teammate.
I'd say maybe patience, making sure that on and off the ice that I'm just patient in everything that I do, and that, like I said, I just keep working hard and doing my thing.
Only one more thing to get to, and that's this week's weekend preview, and we'll have it for you right after this break.
Join the Army A Club today and support cadet athletes 12 months a year. Members of the A Club receive priority consideration for parking, seat locations, pregame hospitality, as well as Army-Navy tickets. But the benefits don't stop there. The A Club also gives members access to special receptions and events throughout the year. To join, visit the A Club link at goarmysports.com or call 845-938-2322. The Army A Club, supporting cadet athletes.
It will be a busy weekend for the swimming and diving teams. The Black Knights will travel to Akron, Ohio for the Zippy Invitational, while several divers will compete in the Big Al Diving Invitational. Head coach Mickey Wender says everyone is dialed in and ready to go.
We've been really focused on this week from really tomorrow through next Thursday as our chance to peak first semester. Excited to go to Akron. It's a meet that in many ways is very similar to the Patriot League Championship. Different teams, but a similar level of competition. So I think it's gonna be a good preparation for the conference meet, a good chance to kind of get the rewards for all the work we've done this first semester, and to fine-tune and prepare for the Navy meet next Thursday.
The wrestling team heads off to fabulous Las Vegas for the Cliff Keen Invitational. Head coach Joe Heskett says this weekend will be a great measuring stick for his team.
You know, there's not too many tournaments throughout the year other than the NCAA tournament when you get the nation's best. And going out to Cliff Keen, there's the nation's best. We're going to see guys from all kinds of different conferences. We're going to get to get exposure to a lot of different styles of wrestling, and that's what we're about. We're about becoming big time, so you got to wrestle the big time, and not just wrestle them, but compete with them. And that's part of that developmental process. Once we compete, then we win. And you know, you build on those types of things. Get that mentality strong, get on the podium at NCAAs, and bring home national titles.
It's a home weekend series for the hockey team as they host Mercyhurst. Head coach Brian Riley says fans can expect 2 exciting games inside Tate Rink.
I think they've kind of caught a lot of people by surprise in the fact that they're the #2 team in our league. But for those of us that have been around this league a long time, it certainly doesn't surprise me. They always have a lot of offensive firepower. And obviously they've been getting great goaltending. They've got solid D, so this will be a huge challenge for us. But it's always good to be playing home here in front of our fans here at Tate Rink, so it should be an exciting weekend.
Saturday afternoon, the women's basketball team travels down to Baltimore for a matchup with Loyola. Head coach Dave McGarity says the Greyhounds are a quality opponent.
Last year, we really played well against them right before Christmas. That was a great win for us. They ended up finishing second in the MAC. Ended up in the women's NIT last year, won 24 games. So I look back on our great non-conference wins last year. You know, they were one of the tournament teams we beat, along with Yale and Navy and Lehigh. So I mean, I just think tomorrow, you know, Saturday will be a very tough test. You know, back on the road, short turnaround.
Also on Saturday, the men's basketball team starts a 3-game road stretch with a contest at Binghamton. Here's head coach Zach Spiker after Wednesday's game against NJIT.
Before we can worry about Binghamton, we've got to make sure that we learn from this one, focus on having a good 2 days of practice here, and then move forward up to Binghamton. That'll be a big atmosphere, Saturday night game on television, and you know, hopefully we learn from this what it means to be ready to go from the start, and we'll see what happens.
So that does it for another episode of Black Knights Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching this week's show, and we'll see you next week. So long, everybody.